I got the moves. I got the moves. I'm making moves. You gotta move. You gotta make the city move. Like, whoa. I make the city move. I got the move.
To many, the Oklahoma City Thunder were one of the biggest losers this offseason, if not the biggest. They were eliminated on a walk-off buzzer beater by Russ's arch-nemesis in Damian Lillard, then had Paul George request a trade to the Los Angeles Clippers so he could pair up with Kawhi Leonard. As a result, they also had to move Russell Westbrook, and now they're left with several future draft picks and a dark future. No one thinks this team will go far next season. Many think Chris Paul is leaving soon. Everyone is expecting a rebuild. But with Woj reporting that Chris Paul may start the season on the Oklahoma City Thunder, I actually do think there is a chance this Thunder team will do good, and I'll be going over why in today's video. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. First up, let's talk about the acquisition of Chris Paul. A lot of people are complaining about Chris Paul, saying he's old, overpaid, and not as good as he used to be. And whilst I agree that he's overpaid, he's actually still a very solid player. Yes, his averages have been the lowest they've ever been, but he's been the number 2 option in a Houston system, which I believe he didn't fit in. He doesn't work well in a 3-point and layup only offense. He's not an ISO heavy player, he likes to move the ball around. CP3 is a pass-first point guard, and clearly, Houston isn't a place for a guy like him. So you might be thinking he's trash now, but I have pretty high expectations for Paul next season. He'll be the number 1 guy on this OKC team, so expect his averages to go up. He'd also be a fantastic role model and mentor for young guys like Shai Gilgeous Alexander, who was a brilliant pickup by OKC in the Clippers deal, as well as other players like Terrence Ferguson and Dennis Schroeder. I really do think that Chris Paul will make a big impact on OKC's new core and potentially be the leader in an NBA playoffs push, if they don't decide to trade him, that is. The next player I want to talk about is Danilo Gallinari. Gallinari was acquired by OKC in the Paul George Clippers deal, and I feel like his inclusion in the deal is getting heavily overlooked. He's a solid starter and was a highly impactful scorer for the Clippers last season, averaging nearly 20 points a game with 19.8, shot 46% from the field and 43% from the 3-point line on 5 attempts per game. His scoring ability will be huge for the Oklahoma City Thunder next season, and in my eyes, he should get a lot of good looks thanks to Chris Paul and Dennis Schroeder. A great player that has finally been getting good recognition is Steven Adams. Steven Adams is easily a top 10 center in the league. He's a great rebounder, especially on offense, a major hustler, and a brick wall on screens. He averaged nearly a double-double this past season, with 13 points and 9 boards per game. 5 of those rebounds were offensive ones, which is absolutely insane. Now with Westbrook gone, expect him to gather even more rebounds because he should rarely have any stolen off of him. Plus, get excited for his pick and roll action with Chris Paul. That should be fun to watch and an efficient play for the Oklahoma City Thunder to run. Adams is a player any team would want and will play a huge role in OKC's potential success next season. The final player I want to talk about today is Shai Gilgeous Alexander. He was arguably the greatest pickup for OKC this offseason. He's a young prospect, and at the rate he was traveling last season, could become a perennial all-star player one day. He averaged 10 points per game, 3 assists, and a steal too. OKC is a perfect opportunity for him. He will be able to get more opportunity to run the offense and get more shots up. He'll overall have a huge opportunity to develop in OKC. Unfortunately, with Chris Paul on the team, this may hurt the amount of shots he gets a bit, but he should get a bigger role than he had on the Clippers. Also, like I mentioned earlier, Chris Paul will be a fantastic mentor for Shai. He will share knowledge of the game with him and help transform Shai's game, making him a potential perennial all-star. I have high hopes for Gilgeous Alexander, and I think he has the highest potential on this team and one of the highest potentials in the entire NBA. So, how far does this team go? I think this team will be a lot better than people think. Not many teams are interested in picking Paul up right now, and this means for at least the next few months, until around December, the Thunder are stuck with him. If they decide to keep him for the whole season, I expect this OKC team to win up to 45 games, but most likely around 40, give or take a few. Unfortunately, there is a good chance they trade Paul at the deadline, but I don't think they should unless they actually do awful next season. Because think about this, they have a core of Chris Paul, Danilo Gallinari, Steven Adams and Shai Alexander, plus Terrence Ferguson and Schroeder too coming off the bench. That's a pretty powerful lineup on paper, and one that's actually quite scary to think about. The lobs to Adam from Paul, the pick and rolls, the spot up shots for Gallinari, and it's an exciting prospect. The only thing in the way of this idea is the potential Paul is moved, but if I'm an OKC fan, I wouldn't worry too much about that. It would allow Shai Alexander to get even more shots up and allow him to develop his game and skill with experience. But if we look at their roster right now, it's actually looking pretty damn good for the Oklahoma City Thunder. But what do you guys think of this? How good are OKC in your opinion? How far will they go next season and how many wins do you expect them to get? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.